Hey everybody, this is Dan from Mechanical Malarkey. Today I'm going to show you how to change the front pads and rotors on a 2012 to 2015 Honda Civic. These are the tools you'll need to change your front brakes. You'll need a 17mm and a 12mm wrench or socket. A pry bar can be helpful. You might need a hammer to get the rotor off, and you'll need tools to remove and reinstall the wheels. To install new brake pads, you need to push the caliper piston in. One way is with a big pair of channel lock pliers. The other way is with a special caliper tool. This is one example. You'll need a Phillips number 3 bit to remove the rotor screws, either on an electric impact like this or on a manual impact driver like this. You'll want some gloves to protect your hands. To clean things up, you'll need some paper towels or rags and some brake clean or solvent. You'll also need some brake grease. You'll also need a jack and jack stands. The first step is to remove the caliper. It's held on with two 12mm bolts. Pull the caliper off. And you don't want to just hang it by the hose, because that's bad for the hose. So what I usually do is I just set it on top like this. Another option is if you have a hook, either made out of coat hanger or store-bought, hook it through the caliper and then hang it on the spring. Usually sets up there just fine for me. Now remove the pads. And then remove the bracket. It has two 17mm bolts. Then to remove the rotor, there are two Phillips number 3 screws. And then if the rotor doesn't come off, a few hits of the hammer should do the trick. To fit the new brake pads, you need to push the caliper piston back in. I'll show you once with the caliper piston tool I have, and then I'll show you with channel locks. With large channel locks, just grab the piston on the back of the caliper and squeeze. It takes some strength to use the channel locks like that, so I would recommend buying a caliper tool if you can. Before reinstalling the caliper bracket, there's some prep work we need to do. First, we need to clean and lubricate the slide pins. So pull those out, wipe them off with a rag. If the grease is really stubborn, use some solvent. Then apply a nice coating of brake grease. Then when you stick it back in, usually have to pull back the boot a little bit to release any extra air or grease that gets trapped in there as you push it in. And then wipe off any excess around there. And do the other one. Next, you need to change out the hardware. You can use a small screwdriver or a pry bar. Most brake pad kits come with a new set of these. If it doesn't, clean these up. And then, if you live in an area with a lot of rust, like I do, you're going to have to clean out these so they fit the pads better. Usually what I use in the shop is a die grinder with a pad. Clean that up in there. But if you don't have one of these, other options are a wire wheel on a drill, or a wire brush, or even some sandpaper. And however you're cleaning this up, it's always best to wear a mask because there's going to be a lot of airborne rust, and that's not very great to breathe. Then install the new pad holder hardware. Now it's ready to reinstall on the car. Get out your new rotors. You'll notice these are all covered in some kind of oil. That's to prevent rust during storage and shipping. So you're going to want to clean that off. So take some solvent or brake clean, spray it down, and then wipe it off with a rag. Install the new rotor. Put the screws in. The screws aren't vital, but they are handy to keep the rotor from flopping around while you're trying to get the bracket on. Install the bracket. Then get your new pads, put some brake grease on the ends, and slip them into the holders. The pad with the squealer goes on the inside, and the squealer goes to the top. Now before installing the caliper, you have to install the pad return springs. They go into these holes here. And when you put these in, the pads are going to want to come out, so you're going to have to hold the pads while you put these in and then put the caliper on. Put the caliper bolts in. There we go, that's one side of brakes. Really easy. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media on Facebook and Instagram, and read the blog at mechanicalmalarkey.com. Thanks for watching.